The idea of risk management has changed in the damage prevention industry. This is the first time in my career where we've actually seen data play a critical role in the decisions that we make. For years, we always understood the idea of what our gut told us. And then we also relied on information that we called local field knowledge. That's where we took the people from the field and took all of their experience and relayed that in our program so we could identify trends and feelings that we understood occurred from just our experience. That includes understanding things like when an invisible dog fence is being installed, it's going to have less of an impact on a dig site than a larger excavation where maybe a brand new fiber line or a water line is going in. But when you're new to the industry, you don't know the difference. And so what risk has allowed us to do is determine some of the factors that would institute the possibility that risk is associated with this excavation. And so how do we do that? And that's an interesting question. So currently, the way we challenge and find these new trends is by looking at data from the raw ticket and comparing that with the actual incidences and damages that may occur associated with those tickets. And as we all know, not every damage or incident is going to have associated ticket, but at least we can try to put together the puzzle and understand when there are incidents near our facility lines, what factors weighed into that. In our exercise to determine if there's value for our client when deploying our risk, we have to take a few things into consideration. First, in the current utilisphere environment, are they using the SMART scoring to identify what they believe are trends of risk? That's more of an actuarial way of identifying risk, using existing feelings and understanding to make sure that what you believe is occurring in the field is actually taking place. So how do we position risk to be a value proposition for our clients? That's always the toughest question. It's one of the reasons that we're here today to try to understand how to bring value to our clients. First, we have to identify what are the challenges they're facing. Are they trying to identify riskier tickets and then send resources out to the field to help hopefully reduce the damages that occur? Or are they trying to find ways to eliminate tickets going to a contract locator to reduce their overall cost? And finally, are they trying to build efficiencies inside of their own organization to make fewer truck rolls or to make those truck rolls even more valuable? Let's take the scenario of using risk as a screening opportunity. What is the proper way to identify risk so that we're not putting more emphasis on certain tickets, but then making other tickets not seem to be as valuable? One of the great concerns of one call centers that are looking at using risk is understanding the fact that all tickets impose some potential risk to most facility owners. So in certain cases, while the excavation may not be applied near your facility line, that does not reduce the overall risk factor of the ticket. Other facility owners may have much more challenging excavation techniques being used around their facility on this particular ticket, even though it may not be risky for you. We recommend taking those tickets that pose the highest risk to your facilities and then doing the appropriate response. In some of those cases, it can be simply as rolling a truck out in a watch and protect kind of scenario, or it may be identifying those higher risk tickets and notifying our contract locator that we want to make sure that there's supervision taking place while that excavation is going on. This allows you to send the information to your contract locator and get the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to making sure that they are allocating proper resources to locate and protect your facilities. Another potential use of risk is to identify those that have less risk so that when we are allocating our resources to making sure our locates are handled properly, those tickets that provide less risk may not be at the top of the list to have our trucks rolled to on the first scenario. This is very useful when working with a contract locator to make sure that we're identifying the tickets that we believe are least amount of risk to our facilities and maybe assigning those last to the contract locator. Those are also used so that contract locators can allocate the proper resources to make sure that the highest risk tickets are marked effectively and, most importantly, on time. The Irth Smart Scoring is a vehicle that has been used successfully by hundreds of clients to help organize and efficiently sift through their data. One of the greatest functionalities of the Smart Scoring system is to allow individual users to identify certain trends and have certain reactions occur when that trend happens. For example, anytime that we see on a one-call ticket the work type being install invisible fence, many of our larger clients that have facilities buried deep into the ground are not as concerned with a dig site that's going to probably excavate maybe 2 to 3 inches into the ground. That doesn't put their facilities at a great risk. So many of our clients use our smart scoring tools to figure out those tickets and allocate those to be screened separately by a different group. This efficiency adds more time to the tickets that actually need to be located versus those that pose minimal risk. Because of this access to all of this data, we have now worked with some of the best data scientist teams in the world today to identify factors that trend to show higher risk in one-call tickets. So many common factors are being used. Of course, work type and the excavator are factors that we look deeply into when determining risk. But we also use other factors like time of day and the work start date time. We look at various scenarios of where the location is, what kind of excavation is going on, and who are all the relative parties on that ticket. Given all of those factors, we then can associate a risk score with that ticket. By using that same methodology, we've looked at millions of tickets, and we've looked at hundreds of thousands corresponding incidents to see what relationship the incident has to the raw ticket data. And that's the baseline on how we've created our Risk AI. We're excited today to introduce Risk AI along with Smart Scoring to further give our users better tools when it comes to identifying risk in the field. With the introduction of DigSite's AI, the learning algorithm that gets smarter and makes better decisions based upon risk, we further enhance the Irth Smart Scoring tools that exist currently. What you will find out now is there's a new column of data called Risk AI. That is the area that is the score that is calculated based upon the millions of tickets we receive and using our AI algorithms to identify potential risk factors that are involved based on the raw ticket. Some of these factors include work type, specific excavators, even to certain extents the contract locators that are working on your tickets. All of that data is taken into account for when our smart scoring identifies those fields and then supplies a risk score associated on that ticket. That information is then used to score each individual ticket as it's being received from the one call, and that risk number is now scored and associated with that ticket. So as we move forward using our smart scoring tools, we can now introduce the new Risk AI score as an additional field of data to help you make better choices. So let's talk about risk and why Irth Solutions is the leader in this category. First and foremost, risk is a determination of many factors that are included on the raw one call center ticket. We only look at the data contained on the ticket before anyone else has received it, before any positive response is entered upon it, or any actions are taken place. That's very critical because what risk allows us to do is determine which tickets, given the raw data on the one call ticket, potentially have the highest risk when it comes to protecting our facilities. Imagine using our smart scoring tool to identify those excavators that pose risk to your facilities. Then in addition, using the AI, Risk AI, to validate the score of a potential risk ticket. So now you have multiple factors engaged. One of the most competitive advantages Irth Solutions has against our competitors is the amount of data which we have access to really train our algorithms when it determines risk. While others may say that they have access to data, no one touches the hundreds of millions of opportunities that we receive yearly to identify trends in one-call ticket management. I hope some of the information we have provided today gives you a better understanding of how the risk algorithms work inside of the Irth ticket management platforms. We believe that the combination of these two pieces, along with our training platform Coursetra, is the only 360-degree solution for identifying and training on risk. I hope the information we provided today gives you a better understanding of how risk works at Irth Solutions. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or any of the sales team to learn more about our new and exciting risk platforms.